Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Ginsland.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
As the Tigers march toward the All-Star break, they will do so with a 4-game series in KC. They have won 6 of 9 against the Royals this year and come in with a 4.5-game lead in the Central Division over KC. Welcome to All-Star Week here on Fox Sports Detroit, and welcome to Kauffman Stadium. Tonight we have Game 1 in this 4-game series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Alley, glad to have you with us here. The start of a 4-game series, which, Rod, should be very entertaining and a chance for the Tigers to put some room between themselves and the Royals.
No doubt about that. The Royals, they've taken some major steps the last couple of years, but they're not ready to play with the big boys. They get lots of base hits, but they got nobody to drive those guys in. They do have a lockdown bullpen, so if you're the Tigers, you want to score early and you want to score often.
You know, it's always good to get a day off. Miguel Cabrera got the day off yesterday, but you know he's good to go tonight. And really, in this ballpark, he has performed well here at Kauffman Stadium.
You know, I kind of liked what Brad Ausmus did yesterday with Miggy. He's not going to have much of a break because he's made his 9th All-Star team. He'll be in Minnesota. He didn't have to use him yesterday, which meant Miguel got that mental day off. Everybody needs that mental day off. Even the game's best player in Miguel Cabrera, he is absolutely worn out of the pitching here in this particular ballpark against the Kansas City Royals. You look at the numbers, batting average, on-base percentage, home runs, you name it. This is a very spacious outfield. It is a lot like Comerica Park in Detroit. Miggy simply goes foul line to foul line, and he wears out this pitching, even though they've got some guys that can really throw that baseball.
All right, now Cabrera does well offensively against the Royals. Drew Smiley, meanwhile, will start tonight for the Tigers, and he's been really good against KC, too.
Well, Kansas City typically has a lot of left-handers in their batting order. They do not have Alex Gordon in tonight's game, so that's one that Drew will not see, and that's the reason why he's had so much success. But against the right-handers, he needs to use his changeup more and also throw inside if he's going to be effective.
One guy that Smiley will have to deal with tonight, Salvador Perez. This guy's turned into an all-star literally this year. We've seen him for a couple of years now, Rod. He does it both behind the plate and with the bat.
With Yadier Molina going down to the St. Louis Cardinals last night, Salvador Perez, for me, the most irreplaceable player in the big leagues. And this is why, because he changes the game on both sides of the ball. 12 pickoffs for Salvador Perez since he made his major league debut back in 2011. He's a fearless thrower. This means base runners can't get off the bases too far. And not only does he get it done with the glove and on the defensive end, this guy has a special bat. He's got tremendous power to all fields. And last night, when Kansas City was down to their final swings, it was Salvador Perez that propelled them to victory. He is a really good player. He's made his 2nd consecutive All-Star game. He's awfully fun to watch throw. Tigers have to slow him down.
All right, this should be a great series. After a short break, we send you back to the Call Sam Studios, check in with Shannon Hogan. But coming up in this one tonight, the last time the Tigers faced Jeremy Guthrie, he struck out 9 in the ballgame. Tigers hoping for a different outcome tonight. Tigers-Royals, Game 1 next. Well, the last time the Tigers were here in Kansas City, they swept the Royals. It is a gorgeous night for baseball here at Kauffman Stadium. So we welcome you back to KC. Game 1 in this series featuring the Tigers and the Royals. And the Tigers starting lineup tonight presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Brad Ausmus here in Game 1. It looks like this. It'll be Jackson, the center fielder. Ian Kinsler is at second base. All-star Miguel Cabrera is at first base. Martinez is at left, followed by the DH Torrey Hunter, who had a huge homestand. Nick Castellanos at third. You've got Avila, Suarez, and Don Kelly rounding it out in right field. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of Jeremy Guthrie.
And the last time the Tigers saw Guthrie on the 18th of June, he pitched a real good game against them. He had 9 strikeouts, gave up 1 run, 4 hits in 6 2/3 innings. He's got a fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup, and he can command all 4 of those pitches. Let's take a look at the starting defensive alignment for the Kansas City Royals this evening, presented by Tim Hortons. Ibanez, 42-year-old veteran in the left field. Dyson in center, Kane in right. Escobar, outstanding year this year, fielding the baseball. Could have very easily been an all-star. Infante at second. Valencia at third. Hosmer at first. And Salvador Perez, who is an all-star, behind the plate.
Well, the Tigers come into play tonight, and they have a nice, healthy lead in the American League Central. Right now, it's at 4.5 over KC. Cleveland 7.5 back. The Tigers really have a chance to put some room between themselves and the Royals here as we head to the All-Star break. So Austin Jackson getting set to settle into the batter's box. It'll be Jackson, Kinsler, and Cabrera facing Guthrie on really what is a spectacular night weather-wise. It is supposed to get really warm and humid this weekend, but tonight, well, we're going to enjoy some good weather.
No doubt about that.
Here is Jackson batting .310 in his last 7. Always a pleasure to come to Kansas City, one of the more picturesque ballparks in the American League. Guthrie ready to go to work. Jackson steps in, and here we go. The first pitch of tonight's ball game is a little bit outside. 1 ball to no strikes.
I told you about that start that Guthrie made against the Tigers back in June. He threw a lot of fastballs up in the strike zone against the Tigers, and guys couldn't catch up with that fastball in the low 90s.
Here's the 92-mile-an-hour fastball that is hit into left field for a base hit. So Jackson is aboard. That'll bring up Ian Kinsler. It also brings us to our Bernstein advantage tonight, and Kinsler has had the Bernstein advantage over Jeremy Guthrie in his career.
It's good to see. It'd be nice for the Tigers to somehow scratch out at least 1 run here in the first inning.
Kinsler batting .303. He's got 11 homers this year, and look at the season numbers against the Royals. 2 of those long balls versus KC. .361 average. He bunts one down the third base line. They're going to let it roll, and it will go foul. Kinsler trying to bunt his way aboard.
That's a good idea. If you're Miguel Cabrera standing in that batter's box, you'd love to see Jackson on second base. Miguel leads the American League with hitting with runners in scoring position.
Kinsler had 10 hits on the last homestand. Trying to do something about a leadoff single here by Jackson in the first inning. 84 degrees our game time temperature here in KC.
No humidity.
None. Really makes a difference.
This is July, isn't it?
It's supposed to be.
And Kansas City, right?
Feels like it's April. Well, maybe not that going that overboard, but still, it's a nice night.
Like you said, we will sit here and enjoy it.
1 ball, 1 strike on Kinsler. 35 multi-hit games this year. What a start it has been to the Tigers' career for Kinsler. Runner goes and a bouncing ball to base hit into right field. Jackson is on his way to third, and the Tigers have something going quickly tonight.
We haven't seen Brad Ausmus put on that many hit and runs this year. He did it yesterday with Don Kelly standing in the batter's box, but this is a 1-1 count. This ball is down. That tells me it's a hit and run because Kinsler, the way that he's swinging the bat right now, normally wouldn't have swung at that. And by him hitting the ball to the right side, that allowed Jackson to get over to third base.
Early scoring chance now for Detroit. Miguel Cabrera will stand in.
That was a beautiful piece of hitting there by Ian Kinsler.
So now we'll see if Cabrera can cash in. Jackson at third, Kinsler at first. And it's chopped slowly toward third base. Guthrie will make the play, and Miguel will get an RBI. 1-3 on the putout. Number 71 in the RBI category for Cabrera. Jackson scores. Kinsler also moves to second base on the play. That'll bring up J.D. Martinez. The Tigers are still without Victor Martinez. And I'm not sure at this point, Rob, that he'll be back before the All-Star break.
Well, if they're going to err on the side of caution, they may be smart just to allow him to sit back the next 4 days. Obviously, he will go to the All-Star game in Minnesota, but he might not play there either. Therefore, he'll be fresh when the Tigers start on Friday next week against the Cleveland Indians.
In the meantime, J.D. Martinez has done some nice work right behind Miguel Cabrera. 9-game hitting streak now for J.D. Guthrie misses low, 1-0.
Ian Kinsler has stolen a lot of bases since he's been in the big leagues, 8 years with the Texas Rangers, and he's not afraid to steal third. He's attempted to steal third 40 times in his career, and he's been successful 35 times.
That'll miss low and in, and the count now on J.D. Martinez, 2-0.
However, if Ian is entertaining the thought of stealing third, he needs to get a really good secondary lead and a good jump, because the guy behind the plate, Salvador Perez, has a cannon for an arm.
And Martinez has been red hot as well. Here's a strike call. 2 balls, 1 strike on J.D. 353 on the homestand. Kinsler in scoring position with 1 out. Back-to-back hits to start this ball game. And Martinez now batting at a very hefty 329. And then he looks at a ball outside, run it to 3-1 on Martinez.
How about J.D. Martinez? He got released in spring training by the Houston Astros, signed a minor league deal, went to Toledo for 17 games, 10 home runs there. Now he finds himself batting in the cleanup spot for the Detroit Tigers.
Right behind Cabrera. That is outside, ball 4, and so the Tigers get another base runner.
That walk right there by Guthrie looked like it was by design. He was not going to give J.D. Martinez anything to hit.
Well, he's going to have to deal with another guy that's been swinging the bat very well, and that'll be Torrey Hunter, who batted 382 on the homestand. He has homered this year against KC. 1 run in on the ground out by Miguel Cabrera. 2 on, 1 out. Torrey lines one to left center field. That's going to get down. Dyson goes over to cut it off. That'll score a run as Kinsler comes in. It's an RBI single for Torrey Hunter, and the Tigers off to a nice start tonight.
And Guthrie's going to have to change his game plan here in the very first inning. I told you that in that start that he made against the Tigers back in June, he threw a lot of fastballs right at the Tigers. They're ready for that fastball right now. That's a 2-seamer that kind of darts down in the happy zone of Torrey Hunter, and he whistles it into the left center field gap for the second run driven in of the contest.
And Torrey Hunter now has an even 50 RBIs this year, quietly putting together another really good season.
And the majority of Torrey's at-bats this year have come where he's batting behind Mickey and also Victor, and those two guys have been on the base paths all year long, so Torrey taking advantage of that.
Well, here is Castellanos trying to take advantage of runners at first and third. Nick shoots one foul back out of play. This is the site of his first major league hit last September. It came right here at Kauffman Stadium. Castellanos now in his first full season in the major leagues, putting together a really good rookie season. Guthrie, meanwhile, struggling to get outs. Castellanos swings and misses on a half cut. 0-2 on Nick. Alex Avila waiting on deck. And that one missed inside. Check the count. It should be 2 balls, 2 strikes on Nick Castellanos. 2-2. First and third, and 2 runs in for the Tigers. Now the 2-2. Missed it inside. 3-2 the count. There's Avila lurking in the on-deck circle.
And 3-2 count. Torrey Hunter might be on the move here from first base, but if you do allow him to run, if you're Castellanos and you know he's running, you got to put the ball in play, or else Torrey will be thrown out at second base by Salvador Perez.
Hunter goes, and it's driven in the air to right field. On the move is Lorenzo Cain. Runner will tag. Martinez coming home to score. Castellanos gets it done. It's 3-0 Detroit. RBI 33 for Castellanos.
If you're Drew Smyly, you're wondering what in the world has just happened because Smyly has been getting no run support in his last 9 starts.
Law of averages, I suppose. He's finally getting some tonight. 3-0 ball game, 2 outs.
Guthrie had a rocky start his last time out against the Cleveland Indians. And didn't pitch very well. Lasted just 4 innings, gave up 11 hits and 6 earned runs.
The 11 hits that he allowed were a season high. And he has not started out very well in this one either. That'll get away. Hunter will think about it, but not far enough. Here's that last start against the Indians. That was on Saturday. Lasted just 4 innings.
99 pitches in 4 innings. He got his work in, though.
Yes, he did. It probably took a while to get there, too. Swing and a miss by Avila. Alex checks in at 226. He has hit 6 home runs this year.
In the power department, he's done his best work against Kansas City Royals pitching. He has 9 career homers against Kansas City.
That is pulled into right field, but right there is Infante on the grass, and he'll throw him out. The shift worked beautifully that time, but nonetheless a good start for the Tigers. They lead 3-0. On 3 hits, and so Drew Smyly will have a little bit of a cushion to work with. Ian Kinsler part of that with a single in the first inning. And Drew Smyly tonight presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, he's had some success in his career against Kansas City Royals, but he needs to get back to burying that breaking ball down away from the left-handers. Also pitch inside to some of the right-handers and use his changeup more today than he has in the past. And if he does so, he'll get back on the winning track.
Here's the lineup that Smyly will face tonight for the Royals, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers. It features Kane, Hosmer, and Perez at the top. Salvador is an all-star due to the injury for Matt Waiters. Valencia is cleaning up, and Infante and Butler. Raul Ibanez is a Royal once again. He's at left, followed by Escobar and Gerard Dyson. So we'll see what the Royals can do in their first go-round here now against the lefty Drew Smyly. Boy, Lorenzo Cain has been getting it done for the Royals. He had that big series against Tampa that was just completed. 8 for 14 with 4 steals in that series. And he looks at ball 1.
Lorenzo Cain can be a difference maker for the Kansas City Royals, but the one thing they must keep him healthy. Outstanding defender, good base runner, got a little pop in that bat too.
1-0 pitch right at the knees, a strike. The Royals are without Alex Gordon, as we mentioned. They are without Jason Vargas, who was scheduled to start on Sunday. He had an appendectomy. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. And they are also without Nori Aoki, their leadoff man, who is on the disabled list. So Cain, in the interim, is batting in the leadoff slot. And Yost knows this is a big series, especially headed to the break. One of these teams could gain some pretty good momentum. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 now on Lorenzo Cain. Start number 15 for Smiley. And the 2-2. Pulled foul behind Mike Jerschley down in the coaching box in third. 2-2 the count remains on Lorenzo Cain, batting .324. He's knocked in 37 this year. Drilled to left field, but foul. Out in front that time. The count stays even at 2. That's what you were talking about, Rod, the lack of run support.
Yeah, 9 starts this year with 2 runs or less for the Tigers' left-handed starter.
Meanwhile, Cain can't keep it fair. He hooks another one foul.
Smiley has no difficulty getting left-handers out. Left-handers hitting only $130 this season against Smiley, but right-handers, however, hitting .323. So he needs to come up with that one pitch that's going to allow him to have better success against righties.
In the air to center, straight at Jackson. Now Jackson cruising back to make the play. Austin got on his horse all of a sudden.
And let's take a look at the Tigers' starting defensive alignment behind Drew Smiley. Martinez, Jackson, Kelly in the outfield. Suarez, Kinsler up the middle. Castellanos, Cabrera on the corners. Alex Avila's behind the dish, and the Tigers have gone 8 games now without committing an error, so that's good to see.
Here is Eric Hosmer batting in the 2 slot. The Royals have 3 lefties in their lineup tonight. Hosmer, Ibanez, Dyson. Here's a strike call.
Good firm fastball there at 92 to Hosmer.
One ball and 1 strike. Hosmer at .260, 5 home runs this year. Had a pretty good road trip for KC. They had a 9-game trip in which they won 5 and lost 4. It was a winning trip for the Royals.
Hosmer hit successfully in all 9 of those contests, and batting average of .400 over the last 9 games.
And it's ripped to left center field. Little drop base hit. Hosmer goes the other way with a 1-out single. 1 on, 1 out. Here are our predictions for tonight's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game. Presented by McDonald's new triple cheeseburger for only $2. I got Austin Jackson tonight.
I got the starter Drew Smiley this evening.
John Keating is going with Miguel Cabrera.
It's now a 10-game hitting streak for the Kansas City Royals first baseman Eric Hosmer.
Tigers got 3 in the top of the first. Now the Royals trying to answer. Here is Salvador Perez. He looks at ball 1.
Salvador Perez has really good career numbers against Tigers pitching, but he's also a double play waiting to happen. Does not get out of the batter's box and hits into a lot of double plays.
And that big 3-run homer in the 9th inning last night in St. Petersburg. He hammers this one to center. Jackson is on the move, still going back all the way in front of the wall to make the catch.
That's the second ball that we've seen hit to center field today, where Jackson thought he was going to come in or he was camped underneath it, only to find out that he needed to get on his horse again to make a play. Ball must really be traveling to center field, or Jackson's not getting a real good look at the balls off the bat.
Which could be the case early in this game, although he is in the shadows. There are some of the flags with the wind blowing out toward left center field.
It's nice to have the athleticism that Jackson has, even though if he doesn't get a great jump, he can still make up with it with his speed.
Yeah, that speed can bail you out of a lot of situations. Here's Danny Valencia. He's in the lineup tonight because of the lefty. He bats .358 versus left-handed pitching. It's in there a strike.
Here's one look at Jackson on that last fly ball off the bat of Salvador Perez. He thinks he's camped. He slows down. Then all of a sudden he has to speed up to run it down right before he gets on the warning track.
One ball, one strike.
I like that last pitch thrown by Smiley to Valencia on the inside part of the plate. He's going to have to start doing more of that to right-handed hitters. It's an absolute must for Drew.
Here's the 1-1. Instead of go to first base, Hosmer back in there. 2 out, bottom of the first. Tigers lead 3-0. Starting up a 4-game set here over the weekend, heading into the All-Star break. And Valencia watches it bounce in.
It's a changeup that he did not throw very well, but Avila needs to continue to call that changeup against the righties today.
Smiley has made himself at home in this ballpark here at Kauffman Stadium career. He has thrown 18 innings and given up just 2 earned runs in 8 different appearances, bullpen included. And a strike call. 2-2 the count. 2 really good starts against the Royals this year as well. There's the former Tiger Infante waiting on deck. 2-2 is inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Omar Infante about as fine a number 2 hitter as you're going to find in baseball, but now batting lower in the lineup because the Royals really don't have anybody to drive in runs, so it's Omar Infante's responsibility.
Billy Butler has been pushed down to 6th in the lineup. Not had a typical Billy Butler season. Way high, that'll walk him. And so the Royals now have 2 aboard. First walk of the ball game for Drew. And it brings up the aforementioned Omar Infante. 8-game streak right now for Omar.
He had a monster series in that series in the middle of June when the Kansas City Royals took 3 of 4 from the Tigers. He wore out his old teammates.
He also had a monster series against Tampa. They just completed that 3-game set. He was 8 for 14.
Omar can hit good pitching. A real good fastball hitter.
Strike 1. 44 driven in this year for Infante. Got 2 men on here. It's Hosmer and Valencia. And the 0-1. Checked it. Did he go? He did not. So says Chad Fairchild down at first base. The 44 RBIs for Infante. He's tied for the team high. Alex Gordon, who will not play in this series, also has 44. He's got a bad wrist. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now on Infante.
And a real nice feel here for the off-speed pitch for Smiley. Buried that breaking ball toward the back foot of Omar Infante at 78 miles an hour.
Now Smiley one pitch away from getting out of this inning. Tigers got 3 in the top of the first. RBIs going to Cabrera, Hunter, and Castellanos. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. To his left, Suarez. He'll get the force at second. Ending the threat. No runs, a single, a walk. 2 men left. In favor of Detroit, and Eugenio Suarez will start things off here in the second. It'll be Suarez, Kelly, and then Austin Jackson facing Guthrie, who struggled through the first inning, and he throws strike 1 to Suarez. Tigers got RBIs from Cabrera on a ground out, Hunter on a single, and Castellanos on a sacrifice fly. Suarez fouls it off, and the count is 0-2. Eugenio had 5 hits on the homestand, slowed down a little bit offensively, hit just 208 on the recent homestand. Here's the 0-2 outside. He would not chase. Guthrie threw 20 pitches in the first, walked a batter, gave up 3 hits, and Suarez takes low and away, 2-2. He's 35 years of age, out of Roseburg, Oregon. Jeremy Guthrie. 2-2 is just off the plate. 3-2 on Suarez. Did not miss by much. Don Kelly batting 9th, waiting on deck. That is lifted in the air, right field, straight at Lorenzo Cain. And Suarez is out, 1 gone. Hey, Motown Night is Friday, July 18th. The Tigers are hosting the Cleveland Indians at 7:08. Get an upper box ticket, admission to the Motown Museum, and a special Tigers Hitsville USA t-shirt exclusively at tigers.com/Motown. That'll be a fun night. Here is Don Kelly batting .250 now. Had a big game yesterday. Shortens the bunt and looks at a strike. 2 for 3 with an RBI yesterday, playing in place of Miguel Cabrera. Today he's playing at right field. Swing and a miss.
Good off-speed pitch there by Guthrie at 87 miles an hour. Faded down and away from Don Kelly.
Perez wants something off speed here. The 0-2. Pulled back up the middle into center field. Kelly was able to stay back long enough, and he shoots it to center for his first hit tonight. That'll bring up Jackson. And the Tigers now have already put up 4 hits against Guthrie. Jackson singled, scored a run in the first. There's a strike called on Jackson. AJ's starting to perk up a little bit offensively. Brad Austin's putting him back in the leadoff slot, and Jackson has had some multi-hit games batting in that leadoff slot. And the hope is that'll get him going. Way outside. Perez loves to throw behind the runner, and he almost got Don Kelly.
We talked about Salvador Perez at the top of the show. He has 12 pickoffs, and since he made his major league debut, which is the most in the majors. And he simply throws that ball from one knee accurately down to the first baseman Hosmer. Kelly barely got back.
That was almost his 4th pickoff of this season.
He picked off a runner last night in Tampa. And their right fielder, Kiermaier. I said this also at 7 o'clock today, that he may be the most irreplaceable player in the game, with Yadier Molina going down last night for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fly ball straightaway center. That'll be routine for Gerard Dyson.
Horrible news coming out of St. Louis. Looks like a torn thumb ligament for Yadier. He's going to miss significant time, but when you add up what this 24-year-old does for the pitching staff, the way he shuts down running games, he's very smart, very agile, and he can also swing that bat. Very important player.
So here is Kinsler now with 2 outs. Yeah, that is bad news on Molina, and potentially some bad news coming up on Tanaka as well, who is going to undergo an examination on his arm. That's right back up the middle, but played him beautifully. Infante is right there, and he throws it out. So the Tigers get a 1-out hit. Strand a man. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. Is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import. And by Oscar Mayer Beef Hot Dogs, it's grown-up food. Well, on a gorgeous night here in KC, it is 3-0 in favor of the Tigers as we go to the bottom of the 2nd. Drew Smiley climbs back on top of the hill, facing Billy Butler, Raul Ibanez, and Alcides Escobar. Smiley's first offering is in for a strike on Butler, who has hit safely in his last 4. .272, but as he typically does, good numbers versus Detroit. .333 this year. Ball outside. Really is kind of mystifying, though, for Butler in terms of his power numbers. He's never been a guy that is, going to hit you 40 home runs, but still to have 2 at this point is kind of surprising.
He's a guy that's never struggled with the bat at any level. Billy Butler has never struggled hitting the baseball.
Outside 2-1.
So his numbers are quite surprising this year.
Well, Butler is on pace for some numbers that are not Butler likes. Just 61 RBIs is his pace. And when you look at some of the actives against Detroit, Butler is always on that list. It's down the right field line. Will he get back to the seats? Cabrera had it in his glove and it popped out. Oh, Miggy got there and he almost made the play. He had that tarp barreling down on him quickly.
The ball looked like it was going to be in the seats, but there's some wind pushing it back, and that gave Miguel an opportunity to make a play.
New life for Butler. Bouncing ball to third, right at Castellanos. He's behind the bag. Butler doesn't run all that well. Nick took his time, one gone.
That's what Billy Butler has been doing a lot of this year, grounding out to the left side of the infield, and his issues continue.
Speaking of issues, Raul Ibanez is 0 for his last 19.
Ooh.
He's got some issues right now offensively, but Raul has had himself a fabulous career.
Especially going up against Drew Smiley, who absolutely shuts down left-handed batters for the most part.
And he looks at a strike, 0-1.
Raul has homered this year at age 42, making him the oldest Kansas City Royal to homer in a big league game. Hal McRae, former Kansas City Royals manager, he was 41 years old.
You see Castellanos has moved to the right side now. There's a ball outside. Well, he had 3 separate stints with Seattle. He's had a couple of different stints with KC now. Was released by the Angels earlier. And he pulls this one right at Castellanos on the grass. So the shift works. And it's 0 for 20 now for Ibanez.
Well, the Kansas City Royals will get a free look at Ibanez going up into the All-Star break, and then they'll decide whether they need to replace him or not, and to find them somebody that's a little bit more competitive and to play in their outfield.
He's going to bring up Escobar. Alcides batting .283. Not a whole lot of success versus Drew, just .214. And there's strike one. Escobar is also battling it a bit lately, just 1 for his last 15. He'll shoot that one into right field, right off the end of the bat. Base hit. 2-out single for Escobar. That'll be the second hit of the game now for the Royals. Here is Gerard Dyson. Mentioned just 1 of 3 lefties in the lineup, and Dyson bats just .208 versus left-handed pitching. So Smiley again has the advantage, at least in terms of the numbers in this at bat. Runner goes on the very first pitch. Pitch out. Throw down to second. Is not in time. Stolen base. Not sure there was actually a pitch out, but Avila stepped out to his left and made a pretty good throw, but a big jump.
It's a breaking ball that he does clear his body out of the way. Real nice jump by Escobar, who steals his 22nd bag of the year. He has a terrific percentage. He's fearless on the base pass.
So they get a runner in scoring position now. And Dice a little looper. Shallow left field. This is going to get a run in. How about that? A bloop hit to right, a stolen base, a bloop hit to left. And the Royals get a run. And that had to be maddening for Drew Smyly. Dyson gets his 12th RBI.
Well, Drew Smyly's got to be kicking himself because he paid no attention to Escobar and allowed him to steal second base.
3-1 ball game. Dyson now will put the glove on.
One thing Smyly needs to work on is when he does go over to first base, when there's a fast base runner over there, he needs to go over there a little bit quicker than he has, because the Kansas City Royals, because he goes over there so slow, they can steal second base. When he does pick over there, they want him to be quicker on his pickoff plays.
Well, Dyson is a threat to run as well. 16 steals this year in 20 attempts.
He's got a huge lead, too. As a team this year, the Royals have now stolen 76 bases.
Runner goes. Boy, if he was going to have no chance here, and he basically threw it right into the dirt, into the mound.
It's going to be a track meet here today, especially when guys like Kane get on and Dyson and Escobar.
17 steals now for Gerard Dyson.
Avila apparently did not have a good handle on this baseball and decided to throw it down to second base anyway. He was not going to throw Dyson out. It also helps that they picked a couple of breaking balls to run on, both Dyson and Escobar.
And now they've got a chance to get another run in. Lorenzo Cain fly to center field his first time up. 3-1 Detroit. This was looking like it might be a 1-2-3 inning. Driven in the air to center and hit well. Jackson is on the move, still going back, reaches, makes the catch up against the wall.
I see you, AJ.
That ball was hammered off the bat of Lorenzo Cain, but Jackson runs it down. And the Royals have to settle for one run on 2 hits. AJ on his horse. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
Greg Holland, the Royals closer, is one of 3 Royals going back to the All-Star game. And earlier today, he told a story on himself that last year he was coming into the game to begin the 7th inning and was sprinting in from the bullpen only to find out that there were no players coming out of the field with him, and then realized he was running right into Mark Anthony, the singer, singing God Bless America. At that point, you sort of look around and you try to maintain some degree of cool, guys. He sort of sidled up to the dugout, tried to maintain some degree of cool there, and then found his way to the mound. But not much play was given to that story. Holland, to his credit, told it on himself earlier today.
Well, Keith, that qualifies as not good, I guess the best way to put it.
Or you could start singing, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. 3-1 is our score. Thanks, Keith. It's Cabrera leading things off here in the top of the third. Miggy in the ball game with an RBI ground out.
Holland, as John said, made the All-Star team, but I'm not so sure that Wade Davis is not having a better year.
Yeah, he might be.
Than Holland in that bullpen.
I don't think Davis has given up an extra base hit yet.
He has not. Meanwhile,
it's a walk to Miguel Cabrera. Base runners galore for the Tigers early in this game. J.D. Martinez. J.D. walked, scored a run in the first inning. He has hit 12 home runs. How about Martinez in the month of July? He's at 406 entering play here tonight. In there for a strike. It's funny because every time Brad Ausmus is asked about Martinez, well, what are you going to do when he slows down? And Brad's like, well, I'm not sure he's going to slow down right at this point.
I'm just going to keep writing his name in the lineup. He has forced his way into the starting lineup every day.
The 0-1 is low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And it's not like Rajay Davis is not playing good baseball right now.
No, I mean, it's unfortunate for him because he has been a game changer.
He's such a weapon.
Here's the 1-1. Ball inside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
This is the one thing that Martinez has done a marvelous job of, getting himself in fastball friendly counts. That doesn't mean Guthrie's going to give him a fastball, but if he does, JD will be waiting for it. Do him a changeup.
Speaking of game changers, here's our T-Mobile game changer, and that would be J.D. Martinez against the Royals this season.
He really should be 12 for 18. The outfielders made 3 outstanding plays against Martinez in that series at Comerica Park. Kane made 2 of those, and Alex Gordon made the other one.
Oh, look out. Down he goes. Martinez hit by the pitch. So JD will take his base. That's going to put 2 on for the Tigers. It's one way to slow him down.
No question. He didn't like that either.
I'm not so sure Rod guys really mind getting hit. It's when you come up around the shoulders of the head.
And Guthrie's got real good command. He's only walked 5 batters in his last 5 games. So, but I don't think there was any intent there. Not on a 2-2 count. That ball just got away from him. A 2-seam fastball ran up and in on J.D. Martinez.
So the best revenge is to make him pay and get that run in.
That is the 9th batter that Jeremy Guthrie has hit this year.
Torrey Hunter will step in. He's singled in to run his first at bat. Justin Masterson has hit 11. That leads the American League. Guthrie is now 3rd in that category. A little bit outside. 1-0 on Torrey. Cabrera started the inning with a walk, and then Martinez hit by the pitch. And now Hunter trying to do some damage here with nobody out. And that one just missed the outer edge. 2 balls, no strikes.
Guthrie having some command issues here tonight, which is unusual for him. And 22 of the 44 pitches he's thrown have missed the strike zone tonight.
Two and one.
Torrey upset with himself. He just knew he was going to get a fastball there from Guthrie, and he swung at it before the ball left Guthrie's hand. Otherwise, Torrey doesn't swing at breaking balls that bounce.
I mentioned the Tigers swept the Royals here earlier this season in the month of May. There's a chopper hit the third, short hop there by Valencia to second one, and the relays a double play and a nifty pick at third by Danny Valencia. That'll go 5-4-3. It'll leave a runner at third.
Nice job by Omar Infante, also getting that ball on its way to first base, using the bag to protect himself. And before J.D. Martinez could disrupt his throw back to first base.
So it'll be up to a 2-out shot here for Nick Castellanos, who hit a sac fly back in the first inning to knock in a run. And Nick looks at ball one. I was about to say, when the Tigers swept the Royals here in May, they hit .372 in that series with runners in scoring position. They continually got it done.
They outscored him something like 28-6 in that series.
Way outside. 2-0 the count. Castellanos was 4 for 9 in the series against the Dodgers.
That was a fun 2-game series against one of the better teams in the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Bouncing ball to third, foul. You know, it really has been an up and down season for the Tigers, and right now they are in first place. But when you measure them against some of the better teams, I mean, they played a really good series against the Athletics.
Yep.
Against the Dodgers. They took, 3 out of 4 from them. Holman Road. Cabrera stands at third down with 2 outs. And the 2-1.
Guthrie's got a lot of action on that two-seam fastball that runs down and in into the right-handed batters. It's a really good pitch for him. Look at the life on this two-seamer.
Got him, strike 3. Well, that turned quickly for Guthrie. He got a big double play ball. The Tigers strand a runner. Things off for the Royals here in the bottom of the third inning, and right now Hosmer with a 10-game hitting streak, and in that span he's batting .400. And Hosmer had a single back in the first to extend that streak. Smiley gave up a run in the second on a couple of bloop hits and a stolen base. And Hosmer looks at ball one. Won a Gold Glove last year, did Hosmer, the first Royal first baseman to win a Gold Glove. .262 batting average. Looks at a strike, 1-1. Hosmer looks at a ball inside. 2-1 the count. In that series against the Tampa Bay Rays that they just completed, winning 2 out of 3, Hosmer scored 5 runs in that series. Here's the 2-1. That's in there. 2-2 on Hosmer. Perez and then Valencia to follow. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Lifted down the left field line, slicing, and it's going to be caught on the run by J.D. Martinez. 1 gone.
You're talking about that Tampa Bay series. The Kansas City Royals could do nothing early with runners in scoring position. They finally had a couple of runners aboard in the 9th inning, and Salvador Perez with a 3-run home run, which propelled them to victory. That's a happy dugout right there.
Well, they really needed that. That would have been a losing trip.
They weren't happy anyway because Tampa forced them into playing a night game last night on getaway day, so they didn't get back here to Kansas City until about 2:30 in the a.m.
That'll never make you happy, especially when you have a flight of 2.5 hours after a ball game. It'll bounce in. Because
they did arrive in the wee hours of the morning. They took no batting practice on the field today.
1-1 the count on Perez. He flied to center field deep in his first at bat. Pull that one in the air to left. Right at J.D. Routine play that time. 2 gone now. Time for a game break. To the studio we go. Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Here right now it is 3-1 in favor of Detroit. Danny Valencia will stand in. Had a base on balls in his first at bat. And Valencia looks at strike 1.
I thought he was going to be a really good player when we first saw him come up with the Minnesota Twins, playing third base for them.
I agree.
Hit for power. Looked like he belonged in the big leagues.
Trying to hold up there, unable to do it though.
He fell out of favor very quickly in Twinkie land.
Twinkie land?
Minnesota Twinkies.
Yeah, Valencia hit 15 home runs his first full season in the major leagues. Ooh, that bounces in and drills Avila. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But he also knocked in 72. That was the 2011 season.
Right.
After that, really hadn't done a whole lot at the major league level. Played in Baltimore last year. The Royals gave up David Lowe, the outfielder, to get him. Broken bat into shallow center, base hit. 2-out single for the Royals.
If you're Smiley, that can't discourage you from continuing to throw your fastball inside. He made the pitch he needed to make. Give Valencia some credit. He bunted off, and he got himself a base hit. But for him to slow down right-handed batters, it's going to be a must for him to continue to pitch inside aggressively with his fastball on occasion.
$50 now for Drew, 34 of which are strikes so far.
That's something that Drew Smiley's never had an issue of doing since we first laid eyes on him 4 years ago. He throws a lot of strikes.
Infante, the batter. Well, Drew allowing 9 runs in his last 2 starts combined in just 8 innings of work. His last 2 were rocky, but today hoping to straighten things out.
He's done a better job today with his breaking ball. He's been able to get it down. Those last 2 starts you were speaking of, he elevated a lot of balls in the strike zone.
Both ball clubs now with 4 hits in this game. Tigers scored all 3 of their runs in the first, and the Royals answered with 1 in the second. the 1-1. 1-2 now the count on Omar Infante. Omar this year in 9 games versus his former team has 9 RBI. 32 years old. Infante had a couple of different stints with the Tigers. Came back to Detroit in the Hannibal Sanchez deal. And he missed with it. Smiley thought he had strike 3. He was about 2 steps back to the dugout. Just a tad inside. Runner going, swing and a miss. So Infante is out, so are the Royals. No runs, 1 hit. Smiley gets a strikeout. That'll be his first of the ball game. And it's 3-1 Detroit at the end of 3. Arby's. Try Arby's new King's Hawaiian Roast Beef BLT today. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Spectacular night for baseball here in Kansas City. Back here at Kauffman Stadium. Top 4. The Tigers have a 3-1 lead. Glad to have you with us here tonight. And the Tigers coming to the plate against Jeremy Guthrie. Alex Avila leads it off and looks at ball 1 up and in. It'll be Avila, Suarez, Kelly, the bottom 3 for Detroit. They have not scored since getting 3 in the very first inning. Avila ended that frame with a 4-3 groundout. Up and in again. Same spot, 2-0. Guthrie walked a batter, hit a batter, but got a big double play to get out of any further trouble in third. He has struck out 1 in this game. Avila taking his time getting back into the box. Here's the 2-0. They played a pull on Avila, who bounced the ball through the hole his first time up, but it was played by Infante, who then threw him out in short right field. Driven to right field. Ball is hit well on the move as Kane still going. He'll get to the warning track. Hard hit ball by Avila, but he is out. Hey, time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. One up, one away, and now Eugenio Suarez. Flied out his first time up, 0 for 1. We'll drive that one back out of play, 0 and 1. Suarez right now at 270. And that's the second Tiger hit by a pitch.
It's a breaking ball there that hit Suarez.
10th hit batter of the year now for Guthrie, which is just one short of the league lead.
If you're going to get hit, you prefer to get hit by a breaking ball, not that 95-mile-per-hour fastball that Guthrie also has.
So yet another Tigers base runner. We'll bring up Don Kelly. Donnie singled his first at bat and looks at ball 1. Kelly was 3 for 6 on the homestand and now 1 for 1 here tonight. Runner going and it's fouled off.
Here's DK yesterday subbing for Miguel Cabrera, who got the afternoon off. He came up in the very first inning with 2 outs, and he drove in a run for the Tigers. That was the second run they scored in that particular inning. And then he also later in the game had another base hit. So a real nice day for Don Kelly yesterday, subbing for Miggy.
Tonight he's getting started in right field. Fouled away. 1 and 2 now on Kelly. Talking to Don earlier this year about how Brad handles him in terms of when he knows when he's going to play, what position he's going to play. And they said Brad always gives me at least a couple of days warning in advance, so I know coming to the ballpark what I need to prepare for. No surprises. And I guess that is the life of a utility man.
It's always nice if your manager does alert you as to when you're going to play, especially if you're a guy that doesn't get a chance to play on a daily basis.
Now Guthrie with the 2-2 runner goes again, and it's lifted back out of play.
Even though Perez has an outstanding throwing arm, Suarez got a pretty good jump there. And had that ball not been fouled off by Don Kelly, he may have been able to steal that base. Suarez has a little bit of speed. He has stolen some bases in the minors, but he really hasn't run that much up here.
Bouncing ball, foul outside of the bag at first.
And Suarez had 9 steals in 54 games in the minors and before coming up this season.
Just outside of the bag. Little looper left field. That's going to drop. Another hit for Don Kelly. He is 2 for 2 in the ball game, and the Tigers now have something going here in the 4th.
And Don Kelly got that 4-seam fastball away from him, did it right off the end of the bat, and right over the shortstop's head for his second knock of the evening.
And the Tigers as a team now have 5 hits.
And told you that Guthrie does not have real good command here this evening. He is just 10 of 18 in first pitch strikes so far thrown to the Tigers hitters.
And because of that, he's been pitching in traffic all night long as Jackson looks at ball 1. His ratio tonight is as follows, not very good. 35 strikes, 30 balls. Jackson 1 out of 2, single and a fly ball. Low, 2-0.
If you're Suarez at second base, you don't want to get too aggressive with your secondary lead, not with the way that their catcher Perez can throw. He will throw behind you, and he will pick you off if you venture off that bag too far.
You can be the runningest team in the history of the world, man, but when you face Perez, it just kind of alters the way you do things.
He's a dynamic young player at age 24, big body, changes the game.
Right now having a chat with the veteran Guthrie.
How about that? He's 24 years old. Guthrie's 35. He's talking to him like he's 35 and Guthrie's 24.
Outstanding leader headed to the All-Star game this year to represent the American League.
He'll be the starter. Matt Wieters was voted in as the starter of the Baltimore Orioles, but obviously he can't play. So Perez gets the starting nod.
Well, it's 3-0 on Jackson. 3-1 on Austin. Single and a run scored in the first inning for Jackson. Kinsler waiting his turn on deck. Fouled away. 3-2. Jackson here in the month of July is 273 coming in, so he's showing some signs of life offensively.
It's good to see Jackson's bat perk up because there were some games where he was not playing center field, and if he's not playing center field on a daily basis for the Tigers, I hate to say it, but I don't think they're going to get to where they need to get to if Jackson's not in center field. That's how good he is on the defensive end.
Yeah, they're definitely not as good as they can be when he is playing as well as he has in the past in certain stretches where he was catching everything. They couldn't keep him off the bases. He was starting rallies, scoring runs. Meanwhile, Guthrie now has thrown 70 total pitches. 3-2 is fouled off again by Jackson.
He is doing the exact same thing that he did to the Tigers in that June 18th start. Lots of fastballs up, and he's also moving the fastball around quite a bit.
Here's the 8th pitch in this at bat coming up. And he missed with it. That'll be a walk, and that's going to load the bases. Here are the other starters in the American League. You see Perez will take over for Wieters. Of course, the Tigers had Miggy at first.
Mostly right-handed bats for the starters, with the exception of Robinson Cano. Everybody else on that list swings the bat right-handed.
You'll see the All-Star game July 15th on Fox. So the Tigers now have them loaded up. Ian Kinsler stepping in with only 1 out. And the chance to bust this one open. They lead 3-1. Fouled back by Kinsler. Ian had a single, scored a run in the first inning. And pretty good in these spots, both in his career and this year. But still looking for that first grand slam. The 0-1.
Ian Kinsler is a dead pull hitter. Most of his hits go to left field. He stands right on top of the plate and basically dares you to challenge him with a fastball.
Ten hits on that last homestand for the Tigers. Ooh, big swing there and a pitch out of the zone.
He knew he was going to get a fastball, and he swung at a ball that was up around his neck. You don't really ever see Ian leave the strike zone like this. Here's what I was speaking of. Most of his hits go to left field. Not many the opposite way.
High fly ball right field. Kane is backing up. Runner is tagging. Catch is made. Run will score. And the Tigers add another on a sac fly. That'll drive in Suarez. So the hit batter comes around to score, and the Tigers lead 4-1. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Kinsler RBI number 48. 4-1 Detroit, and here is Miguel Cabrera. Meanwhile, Guthrie's pitch count continues to soar, 25 in this inning alone. Miggy looks at ball one. Cabrera all season long has been one of the best, if not the best, in the American League with men in scoring position. Right now he's at 373. There was a time he was over 400.
That's right.
Ooh, up and in as Guthrie backs him out of there. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0. That's fouled back out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cabrera now has 71 RBIs. Cruz has 73 to lead the American League, but Cabrera's been hot on his tail. Trying to drive in Kelly, trying to drive in Jackson, and trying to make life miserable for Guthrie, who has really labored in this ball game. Low and outside, and now he's gone 3-1. JD Martinez waiting on deck. High drive into deep left field. Ball is hit well. Ibanez going back. Looks up. It's off the wall. Kelly scores. Jackson right behind him. He'll come home. Throw to the plate, not in time. It's a double and 2 RBIs for Cabrera. And the Tigers lead 6-1.
And Mickey got himself a 3-1 fastball that was tailing inside on him. He hit the ball over Ibanez's head. By the time Ibanez picked it up, Austin Jackson, who was on first base, was able to score. And McMiggy's numbers just continue to go up against Kansas City.
That also gives him 73 RBIs for the season. So Cabrera now has at least moved into a first place tie with Nelson Cruz of Baltimore, but we haven't got any numbers on him if he has driven in runs tonight. Here is JD Martinez. 6-1 Detroit. Martinez on base twice. Walk, hit by a pitch. Missed it outside. 1-0. Well, Bruce Chen now starting to heat up in the bullpen for the Royals. He was perhaps scheduled to be the starting pitcher versus Detroit on Sunday with the Vargas appendectomy. A wave and a miss.
I also heard some rumors they were considering bringing up someone from the minor leagues to take that start on Sunday.
Yeah, because their notes right now says TBA for the Sunday starter. The Royals notes that is.
And they were hoping that Guthrie would give them a better effort here this evening. Therefore, they wouldn't need a long man in their bullpen.
JD looks at a strike on the outside corner. Guthrie threading the needle that time. This is the 7th man to bat here in the 4th. The Tigers broke it open a bit with another 3 spot. And Cabrera has driven in half their runs tonight. And the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Torrey Hunter waiting on deck. Up and in. 3-2. Well, we mentioned how he threw 99 pitches to get through 4 innings in his last start.
He also gave up 6 earned runs in that last start to the Cleveland Indians.
Well, he's about to do it again here. This is the 35th pitch coming up in this half inning. Swing and a miss, and it finally takes care of the Tigers. However, they get 3 more runs. Miguel Cabrera's had a big bat tonight. He knocked one into the first, and he has knocked in 2 more here in the 4th. Summary tonight. Tigers on top 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Tigers had 3 runs in the first inning. Miguel Cabrera has knocked in 3 tonight, and Jeremy Guthrie has walked a couple. He has hit a couple of guys, and he has thrown a total of 87 pitches to get through 4 innings.
He's had some command issues this evening, to say the least.
So now Billy Butler leads it off. Drew Smyly back at the hill. It's going to be Butler, Ibanez, and Escobar. And Drew missing high. Tigers have 6 runs, 6 hits tonight. 1 run, 4 hits for the Kansas City Royals. In there for a strike on Butler. 1-1. Billy came in 6 for 11 against Smyly, but he's 0 for 1 against him here tonight. 2-1 the count. High towering fly ball to left. J.D. Martinez on the run to the wall, gone. Just the 3rd home run of the season for Billy Butler.
It really doesn't matter how poorly Billy Butler may be swinging the bat when the Tigers arrive to town. He is still going to get it done. For whatever reason, he saves his best work for Detroit Tigers pitching. That's a fastball upstairs that Billy was able to get on top of, and he hit that ball a long way to left field. He killed it.
He is now 6 for 13 career against Smyly. That ball went 416. A 2-1 pitch. That was a no-doubter to left. And again, just the 3rd home run of the season for Butler. 6-2 ball game now. Now they'll wait for Castellanos to move to short right field with Ibanez up there. Ball up and in, 1-0. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. 2 balls, 1 strike, I beg your pardon. I was talking to Castellanos the other day about playing that shift right there, and he said, really the only thing I worry about is the ball hitting the lip of the grass and the dirt. Otherwise, nothing else really bothers me. The angle of the throw or fielding it on the grass. That's a strike call. But when you have guys that are a little bit more speedy, and he's got to play in a little bit more, not like he is right now because Ibanez doesn't run all that well.
Well, playing ground balls off the grass is something that the infielders don't normally do.
There's another ground ball. Let's see if Kinsler cuts it off. He does. And so Ibanez is out, and his struggles continue.
Now, this much we do know. JD, he gets his work in during the game on the defensive end, running back and forth against left-handed batters. A young boy, though. Fresh legs.
You remember those days, don't you?
I sure do, man. They were so long ago.
Here is Escobar.
I get out of the bed now. Both knees hurt.
A little bit outside. 1 ball to no strikes. Alcides had a single, stole a base. He got things rolling in the second with 2 outs, nobody on. They eventually scored a run. We'll get back to the screen. 1-1.
I thought maybe Escobar had a legitimate shot of making the All-Star team this year, but with Derek Jeter making the start at shortstop, there was one shortstop that was going to be left off, at least initially, and for now that's Alcides Escobar, although he's playing like an all-star.
Yeah, that's the downside of having Jeter make the team. And certainly, you know, when you're voted in, regardless of how you get there. But the numbers certainly were not all-star worthy this year, and that's more of a lifetime achievement award for Jeter.
Right.
But it will cost someone. The 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dyson waiting on deck. The Royals get 1 back, and the home run by Billy Butler. Here's the 2-2. Pulled foul. Escobar came in 1 for his previous 15, but he has a base hit tonight. That'll be a foul ball. Bill Miller right there called it foul. $70 now for Drew. And then you can see that 24 pitch first was his highest. On the ground to the shortstop, Suarez on the backhand. His throw is right on the money. 2 gone. Hey, it's Sunday Kids Day when the Tigers face the Cleveland Indians July 20th at 1:08. All kids 14 and under receive an Anibal Sanchez poster and enjoy free rides on the Comerica Park Carousel and the Ferris wheel. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com and you can get your hands on that good-looking poster.
That is tight.
Dyson, big swing, 0-1. Singled, stole a base, knocked 1 in back in the first inning, batting a very solid .299. The 0-1 pitch. That's in there, 0-2. Last night, Gerard Dyson stole his 100th base. In Tampa, and he's got another one here tonight, so he's got 17 for the year.
Didn't take him very long to get to 100 either.
Chopper to the shortstop. Suarez has to hurry. He knows it, and his throw beats him by half a step. 1 run in the inning on the home run by Billy Butler on our way to the 5th. Official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. Downtown Kansas City, the Tigers starting a 4-game series here against the Royals, and so far so good. As we go to the 5th inning, it's been mostly Detroit. 6-2 is our score. There's Torrey Hunter leading it off, and Torrey looks at a ball that floats inside. Jeremy Guthrie back out there.
And Guthrie usually in pretty good control with that real slow breaking ball that he just threw to Torrey Hunter. Not that time.
There's a drive into deep left field. That ball is hit well, and you can kiss it goodbye. That is way out of here.
That might be further than the one that big bad Billy Butler hit.
Hunter with a deep drive to left. It was climbing the stairs up there. Holy cats, he killed that thing.
Well, giving up home runs is really nothing new for Jeremy Guthrie. He has now given up 18 gopher balls this season. Here's a fastball that kind of tailed right into the happy zone of Torrey Hunter. T. Hunter didn't miss it and knew it was gone as soon as he hit it. It's out in the water. Over the water.
Ricocheting around. Torrey hits number 12. And he's driven in 2 tonight. Guess on the length or the distance of that one.
Well, Billy's was 406. I think you said that had to be at least 415.
Keep going.
Oh, 422.
Keep going.
Really?
428. There's a ground ball to third. Nice stop there by Valencia. And he's got to be safe. Ball gets away from Hosmer, but that'll be an infield hit for Castellanos.
Here's a couple of more looks at that massive blast off the bat of Torrey Hunter. There's a bat flip.
Really, Ibanez didn't even need to move. Gave him a courtesy look. And it pinballs around up the stairs. And then Yost has apparently seen enough. They've had Bruce Chen warming up. And Guthrie will be bounced in the 5th inning in this ball game after giving up a homer and an infield hit. Wallside windows pitching change here in KC. Tigers up 7-2. Torrey Hunter's just hit a mammoth home run. 76 home runs allowed since 2012.
Is that a lot?
Well, it's the most in the majors, so I would say yes. And Guthrie's out of the game now. Scott Downs, the veteran lefty, has come in.
And Downs has some elevated numbers this year. The ERA sits at 5.33 in 41 games, but he does very nice work against left-handers. Since the beginning of the 2007 season, the batting average against left-handers, 204 for Downs, which is the second best for left-handers in the big leagues.
Vila couldn't hold up. He is down in the count. 0-1, 0 for 2 tonight for Alex. Ground out, fly out. He'll break one outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Downs has been with several clubs. And the Cubs, the Expos, the Blue Jays, the Angels, the Braves, the White Sox, and now the Kansas City Royals.
Sure he didn't miss anybody?
He really made a name for himself pitching for Toronto, though. He was real good in their bullpen.
Shift is on in the infield for Avila. 3 defenders to the right of second base.
It's Valencia right here, their third baseman.
Lewis Coleman is up, was just called up today. Now the 2-1. He went the other way with it, but foul. So the Tigers this year now in this ballpark have outscored the Royals 33-10. Their 7-2 lead tonight. There's Suarez waiting on deck. There's the 2-2. Avila got a piece of it to stay alive. 4 innings plus 2 batters for Guthrie tonight, as the home run by Torrey Hunter started to signal the end for the right-hander.
And with Victor Martinez missing in the last 4 or 5 games, Torrey Hunter getting a couple of reps at that DH spot.
Yeah, well, we talked about how hot JD Martinez has been, but Torrey's been really hot as well. Avila thought about chasing, but did not. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Brad Ausmus did say today that Victor moving around a little bit today, did some agility drills. I don't think he swung the bat, but Victor getting closer. Whether it will be before the All-Star break or after the All-Star break remains to be seen. I don't think Brad has said a definite no that he will not play the rest of the first half.
Bang that one off his foot.
I think initially he did say that, but then kind of changed his tune today as to say, well, we don't quite know yet.
Well, how much do you think winning plays into that as well? I mean, if you're winning ball games, maybe you're a little bit more patient.
And also, you don't necessarily want to tip your hand to the other team. I mean, if you say that Victor Martinez is not available, then Ned Yost, he knows beyond a shadow of a doubt he doesn't have to worry about VMAR.
7-2. Tigers have the lead here in the 5th.
And therefore, just keep everybody in limbo.
Downs' big league career began back in the 2000 season with the Cubs. (3-2). Driven toward left field. Ibanez on the run, over his head all the way to the wall. This may get another run in. Castellanos rounding third. They're going to hold him. He will stop at third base. It's a double for Alex Avila.
Raul Ibanez, the left fielder, was playing Avila way too shallow. He was not anticipating that he would hit the ball that sharply to left field. Avila, he did. He got himself a fastball away, stayed down, hit it over the head of Ibanez, and gets himself a double. He was really playing shallow.
So they're at second and third, still nobody out. 3 straight hits greeting the Royals here in the 5th. Suarez up there, infield coming in a couple of steps. Ball 1 to Suarez. Hit by pitch, scored a run in the 3-run 4th inning. Now the 1-0. High fly ball center field and hit well. Dyson is on the move, sprinting back, won't get it over his head. Up against the wall, 2 more runs will score. Suarez will pull in with a double and 2 RBIs. And the Tigers pouring it on now, 9-2. So Downs has not been the answer.
It's another fastball ripped to center field over the head of Dyson, and if you're Dyson in center field and he can't run it down, no one can run it down. He has that kind of speed out there, and by the time he picks it up, Suarez standing at second base with his 11th RBI of the year.
4 straight hits for the Tigers. Still nobody out. They've added another 3-run inning. Don Kelly looks at a strike.
And close the book on Guthrie. 8 runs given up by Jeremy today.
Swing and a miss. So the Tigers now have outscored him 35-10 in this ballpark this year. Bouncing in. Eight runs in a little over 4 innings is not real healthy for your ERA, which came in at over 4 for Guthrie.
Well, if you're the Tigers, you're doing exactly what you want to accomplish in every single one of these games. You want to get into the front part of the Kansas City Royals bullpen. You don't want to see Herrera, you don't want to see Davis, and you don't want to see Holland.
Checked it, didn't go. And it's 2-2 now on Kelly. A couple of singles in this game for Don. Pulled on the ground at first. Hosmer with the backhanded play, taking himself, advanced the runner. It's the first time they get Kelly in this game. And Suarez moves to third. Bring out Ned Yost again, so it looks like Downs is done. With Jackson coming up, another wall side windows pitching change, it appears. And Yost will take the baseball now. So we'll step aside here in KC. All Tigers tonight.
the game, and we don't have to go back very far. Torrey Hunter led off the inning with his 12th home run of the season against Jeremy Guthrie.
So Jackson will step in now in a 9-2 ball game.
Austin Jackson already has 8 sac flies this year, which is the most in the American League, looking for number 9 right now. And Coleman's got a fastball that will top out at 92, although he averages about a 90 with that pitch. He throws a lot of sliders, especially to the right-handed batters.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson on base twice in this game. Single walk, 2 runs scored. And the Tigers have scored at least 8 runs in every inning or every game they've played here so far. They've got 9 tonight. There's the 1-2, and he laid off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, there's that slider that he throws about 52% of the time to right-handed batters.
Fouled away. Lewis Coleman, the 3rd pitcher used tonight by Ned Yost. Guthrie started the inning, then Downs, and now Coleman. Off the mask of Perez.
Like a little mosquito bite right there off the mask of Perez.
He just simply turned around to the home plate umpire and say, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about me.
Here comes that slider again.
Swing and a miss. And Jackson is out of there.
Speaking of that slider, and Lewis Coleman last time these two hooked up, that would be Ian Kinsler, and this was at Comerica Park. It's our bell tire pitch by pitch. First pitch fastball, then he tried to get him out with a mixture of different sliders. He finally got one up in the strike zone. Ian Kinsler was waiting for it and hit the ball out to left field. That's our bell tire pitch by pitch.
Sac fly tonight for Kinsler, plus a single and a run scored. No balls, 1 strike. Ian now 48 RBIs. He has hit 11 homers this year. Drives this one to center field, and that's going to drop. Base hit. Another RBI for Kinsler. Tigers continue to pour it on. It's 10-2. That is the 8th time the Tigers have scored 10 or more runs in a game this year.
And this is they're doing it against a pretty good pitching staff. The Royals came in with a 3.67 earned run average as a team. They have not given up a whole lot of crooked numbers this year.
Cabrera looks at ball 1.
And Miguel, the type of hitter that will be up there sitting on that breaking ball that I've already told you that Coleman throws also frequently. And if he hangs it, watch out.
Coleman darted low and away. 2-0.
Miggy's still sitting on it.
On the outer edge, 2-1. Tigers tonight 4 for 10 with men in scoring position. Kinsler coming through with 2 outs. Fouled away. 2-2 on Miguel with 3 RBIs tonight. Cabrera now has 73. 33 doubles before the All-Star break, second most by a Tiger since the 33 campaign. Remember that big year Maglio had?
I do. Is that the year he won the batting title? Could be.
07, yeah, 35 doubles before the break that year.
A lot of Tiger hitters had monster years that year. Polanco, Granderson, Maglio. That was the year that Maglio won the batting title. Had 200 hits that year. And so did Polanco.
J.D. Martinez on deck. Rolled foul. Kinsler getting a head start with the 3-2 count here. Tigers have had a 3-run first, a 3-run fourth, and now they have added a 4-run fifth. And he walked in, ball 4. So the Tigers are going to hit around here in the 5th inning. 9 men to the plate. The second time Cabrera's walked in this game.
About 8 Tigers came out early today and took some batting practice on the field. And that extra batting practice that they took here today has translated into a really nice night so far.
J.D. Martinez looking to extend his hitting streak. He has a walk and has been hit by a pitch. He's hit safely in 9 straight. And a strike called right at the belt.
J.D. the only Tiger that does not have a hit so far this evening. But he has scored a run.
11 Detroit hits in this contest. Drilled to left field. Ibanez coming in, and he's going to slide, and it rolls by him. That'll get 1. That'll get 2 in. Cabrera rounding third. He's coming around to score. Martinez goes to second, and the Tigers get 2 more runs.
Now every Tiger has at least 1 hit here this evening.
I'm sure we'll go single E7, probably 1 RBI there.
Once you leave your feet as an outfielder, your next responsibility is making sure that ball stays in front of you. But the way that Ibanez approached that one, it bounced right over his head.
12-2 in favor of the Tigers.
Didn't the Tigers just have a game a couple days ago where they had 20 hits?
Yeah, that was a season high for Detroit. They're knocking on the door again. Hunter, who started the inning with the mammoth blast to left at 428 feet, batting for the second time in the inning. 12-2 Detroit. It has now turned into a 6-run inning. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Torrey. Hunter tonight has 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Martinez extending his hitting streak to 10 straight. And the 1-2. Shot back up the middle. That'll get into center field. Here comes Martinez rounding third. And the throw to the plate is off target. It'll get by Perez to the backstop. It goes. Advance Hunter to second.
That's going to be the second error of the inning for their outfielders. Ibanez has made a miscue, and now Dyson will be given an error. And Torrey broke his bat on his breaking ball that was down and away from him, but still got enough of it to get himself another base hit and drive in another run.
It's his 3rd run driven in. Single RBI. E8. And the Tigers are showing no signs of letting up. .52 driven in now for Torrey. There's Castellanos batting for the second time. He sends one high in the air into left center field. Dyson is on the run for this one, looking up, and that ball is up against the wall. Another run scores. Castellanos will hold his second. That's a double. And the Tigers just continue to swing the bats.
Tigers beating the Kansas City Royals like they stole something here tonight.
And some of the fans now starting to boo here in Kansas City. That's a 14-2 ball game now. This has turned into an 8-run inning with no end in sight. Avila doubled earlier in the frame. He's up there again. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers with 14 runs. Ties a season high. There's a drive into right field. That ball is hit well. Kane going back. Track wall to make the catch. What an inning for the Tigers. They bust this one wide open. It all started with a Torrey Hunter mammoth shot at 428 feet. When it was all said and done, the Tigers have 8 runs on 8 hits in the inning. And they lead 14-2. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Not in need of adjusting your set. That's the real score. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. Well, Drew Smyly, you've gotten 14 runs to work with. Are you happy? Here come the Royals now in a 14-2 game. Lorenzo Cain leading it off. Kane, Hosmer, and Perez, top 3 facing the Tiger lefty. And Drew missed it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kane in the ball game, couple of fly balls to center, 0 for 2. Smyly surrendering a single to Dyson to score a run in the second, and then the home run to Butler. That's it. That slice to center field again. Jackson comes on to make the play. 1 gone.
Often making all the plays in center field today.
bring up Hosmer.
I guess Kane throws his hands up. Well, it's going to be one of those nights, boys.
He hit it hard, but straight at Jackson. Hosmer, the batter. Fouled away 0-1.
All of Kane's outs today have been hit out to center field.
It's funny, when the Royals came to Comerica Park, they took the first 3 games in that series. They were up a game and a half in the standings and
Rolling.
not so much now. Here's the 0-1. Ball inside. I think you said it best, though, on the game open tonight. The Royals just don't seem to have enough ammunition in the middle of their lineup. Hosmer looks at a ball.
70% of their hits this year are singles. 70%. And then they don't have guys like Hosmer and Butler driving them in. That's why Infante's batting 5th in the batting order now.
That's a ball inside to make it 3-1 on Hosmer. There is Salvador Perez waiting on deck. Here is the 3-1. Bouncing ball foul. 3-2 the count.
Here's what I was just mentioning. 71% of their hits have been singles. Highest in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, not just the American League, but every team in baseball. 3-2 is fouled away. Well, they got a pretty good gathering in this ballpark here tonight. It's a great night for baseball. The Tigers stealing the show with a 14-run effort on 14 hits. And the Tigers have a chance with a win here tonight to extend their lead to 5.5 over KC.
That's a nice spoil there by Hosmer on the 3-2 fastball at 91 thrown by Smiley.
Single and a fly ball for Hosmer, extending his hitting streak to 10 straight. And he rolled that one foul, got out in front. Drew again trying to put him away on 3-2. And a ground ball to second. That'll flatten out there for Kinsler. 2 gone.
Here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. And Smiley is topped out at 93 with his 4-seam fastball this evening.
Well, he's in search of a 1-2-3 inning. He'll face Salvador Perez. I don't know what it is about this ballpark, but the Tigers certainly are seeing the ball well in this ballpark this year. They are hitting .410 with men in scoring position. That includes all the games they've played in here this season. And tonight, man, they really added to those numbers. Oh, 1 on Perez. Couple of fly balls, one to center, one to left. 0-2. You will win a lot of ball games when you go 7 for 13 with men in scoring position, and that is exactly what the Tigers have done tonight.
One of the things that we talked about Smiley doing a better job of today, bearing his off-speed pitches, the changeup and the breaking ball. He kept them down today.
Into shallow right field. Kinsler on the run. And Smiley gets his first 1-2-3 inning of the night, meaning we go to the 6th. 14-2 Detroit. sixth inning, and the final vote for the All-Star game has taken place. It's over now. The final vote looks like this. Chris Sale won that vote.
Can't really argue with that. Not with those numbers. 8-1 with the ERA shade over 2.
And Rick Porcello finishing third behind Sale and Garrett Richards.
There's still an opportunity for Rick Porcello to get on the All-Star team, depending on what happens with some of the other guys that might not pitch next Tuesday.
Getting some changes now for the Royals with the lopsided score here. They've gotten Salvador Perez out of the game. Brett Hayes, the new catcher, and Christian Colon, one of their top prospects, is the new second baseman. Infante is out. Here's a drive toward left center field. Dyson on the run for this one. Not going to get it. It'll go up against the wall. The Tigers just continue to swing it. And Suarez has another extra base hit tonight.
That's his third hit of the game. Second hit of the game, excuse me.
Both doubles.
Dyson's had to have his track shoes on today. Not his baseball cleats, his track shoes.
Probably winded out there. And one just missed the outside corner to Don Kelly. It'll bend outside, and the count goes to 2-0 on Don, who has 2 hits of his own tonight.
This is a count the Tigers have found themselves in quite often this evening. 2 balls, no strikes. Fastball friendly count.
High fly ball left field, chasing Ibanez back. And that'll hold Suarez at second, 1 away. How about this? Last inning, the Tigers scored 8 runs. Well, it's their first 8-run inning since July of last year, when they put up 8 big ones against the Phillies in the 6th inning. And they had themselves an 8-run 5th tonight. Got 15 hits in this contest. Jackson has scored twice. And he looks at a breaking ball strike. 1 for 3, single walk, 2-run score. Here's the 0-1. More action in the bullpen. That is Francisli Bueno.
Well, that's a big league name there.
Yeah, it is. Royals pitching has been anything but Bueno tonight. Swing and a miss. AJ tried to hold up.
No, it's been Malo.
Bueno. 2 gone. Here's Kinsler. Ian's had a couple of RBIs tonight. He's had a couple of hits as well. 14-2 Detroit. We play in the 6th. Suarez let it off with a double. He's still standing there with 2 outs. These are the types of games, Ron, and you can probably talk about this. I'm sure you've played in a lot of games where your team has scored a lot of runs, but if you have a couple of hits, you want that 3rd one, then you want that 4th one, don't you?
Absolutely. You may as well get greedy, because there's going to be some opportunities later in the year where the hits aren't falling.
Popped up foul back out of play.
That's something the Tigers have done a nice job of the last 10 days or so. Even though they have big leads, they continue to put the pressure on the opposition.
Castellanos has had a nice night. Couple of hits, couple of RBIs. Don Kelly has had a couple of hits. Low and away, 2-1. Kinsler has yet another multi-hit game. That'll be 36 for the season now.
He has been as good as advertised, coming over from the Texas Rangers and the Prince Fielder deal.
To the shortstop Escobar. Kinsler out by half a step. Inning is over. Leadoff double stranded. To the bottom of the 6th we go.
Torrey got it started in the first inning. And then Miggy drove in a couple. That was in the fourth inning. And Cabrera has gotten 3 RBIs in the game. Torrey Hunter wasn't done there. He made another home run in this game. Suarez, Castellanos have also gotten in the action. Well, you get the idea. 14 runs on 15 hits for Tigers bat so far today against the Kansas City Royals.
It has been quite a night. And the recipient of all of that offense is Drew Smyly. Back to the hill he goes. Danny Valencia looks at a strike, 0-1. Valencia, then Colon, and then Billy Butler. Broken bat, soft line drive, caught by Castellanos.
We've heard that sound a few times today on pitches that Drew Smyly's thrown.
That's a good sound if you're a pitcher.
Oh, they love it.
Here is Colon. Former first-round pick of the Royals, 4th overall back in the 2010 draft. Got himself a really good year last year at AAA Omaha. He's gotten to the big leagues fairly quickly. Ball 1 inside.
He's really got no place to play here with the emergence of Alcides Escobar and Omar Infante signed to a lengthy free agent deal.
That's in there as strike. Well, Infante was 0 for 2 before being taken out of this game after the Tigers raced out to a 12-run lead. There's a chopper back up the middle, going to be a tough play. Kinsler. Oh, just off the glove of Cabrera. That would have been a fabulous play by Ian.
Ian does a real nice job of backhanding this ball. Then he had to throw off balance to try to get to Speedy Colon. And because he threw from that sidearm angle, the ball tailed and sailed on Miggy. Miggy tried to keep his foot on the bag and also make the play, knowing that Avila would be there to back him up if the ball got past him.
That'll be an infield hit. Now Billy Butler. Solo shot in the 4th inning off Smyly. .352 now against Tigers pitching this year. And he pops that one up. Foul ground, first base side. Miggy is there. Butler is out. Time for a game break. Now to the studio we go. Mickey York. Yeah, no doubt, Mick, and he was having a fabulous season, was as good as advertised coming over to the States.
Yeah, that is devastating news.
Here's a ball outside to Raul Ibanez. 0 for 2 tonight. Ibanez batting a .149 since joining the Royals, was released earlier this year by the Angels.
So that means at least one more pitcher is going to get an opportunity to replace Tanaka.
Good point. Popped up left side. Suarez coming over. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. To the 7th we go. 7th here at Kauffman Stadium. We were talking all-star pitchers, and here are the American League all-star pitchers. Dellin Betances of the Yankees made it, along with Tanaka, but we just talked about Tanaka and the injury, according to Mickey York, the tear in his elbow. Max Scherzer, of course, of the Tigers. Greg Holland of the Royals.
Scott Kazmir. Yeah, that's a real nice story. Him coming back from playing independent ball just a couple of years ago to making the all-star team.
Well, we've got a new pitcher coming on now. This is Francisco Bueno.
He's got a 1.98 ERA in 12 games this year, and 7 strikeouts, just 3 base on balls for Bueno.
Here is Miguel Cabrera to start things off in the 7th inning, and Miggy looks at ball 1 outside. On the outer edge, Cabrera in this ball game has 3 RBIs. He's walked a couple of times, knocked in 2 with a double in the 4th. Bueno replaced Coleman, who replaced Downs, who replaced Guthrie. Strike call.
I guess that mental day off yesterday that Brad Ausmus gave to Miguel Cabrera, and it did him some good. Allowed his legs to freshen up for one day.
Fought that one off.
Brad was making the comment today, even the best players in the game need a day off. It's very hard, he said, to not write Miguel's name into the lineup, but he wants Miggy for the long haul. He also knows that Miggy's not going to have much of an all-star break because he's headed to Minnesota.
Meanwhile, that Tigers box score, a lot of crooked numbers. There's ball way outside, 2-2. How much of those days off, is it more of a mental break or physical break, or is it about a 50-50?
Mental. I mean, because when you get that mental day off, you don't take any batting practice. You don't even put your batting gloves on. You just sit back and have some sunflower seeds and chew some bubble gum and have a lot of fun.
Now Bueno ready with the 2-2. Fouled away. So Cabrera now with 3 RBI, 73. Nelson Cruz tonight has picked up an RBI, so he leads still in the American League in that category. But Miguel does have 33 doubles, which is tops. And he shoots that one fair. It looks like he's going to get another double. Right down the third base line. And Cabrera cruising into second with a 2-base hit.
That is now 34 doubles on the season for Miggy. He only had 26 doubles last year. And when he comes to Kauffman Stadium, he hits in this ballpark like he's at home. He's done a lot of damage here prior to playing in this particular game. And here's some of that damage. 343 batting average with an on-base percentage over 400. He's trotted around the bases 12 times, and he's driven in a total of 53 runs. And it really doesn't matter if it's a left-hander, right-hander on the mound. Miggy just does major damage in this yard.
And for Cabrera, his night is done. Rajay Davis will come out to pinch run for him, and then probably head to the outfield with, I would imagine, Kelly coming into play first. There's the ball outside to J.D. Martinez. So Cabrera had the day off yesterday. He'll take the rest of the night off tonight.
It's really nice to see the Tigers offense pretty much clicking on all cylinders here the last few days and leading up to the All-Star break.
Here's the 1-0. Driven down the right field line. That is going to slice, stay fair, go to the wall, drive in another run. J.D. Martinez on his way to second. The Tigers have back-to-back doubles here in the 7th.
Quit it, J.D.
So Martinez now with a 10-game hitting streak with 2 more hits tonight. And right now, as Torrey Hunter steps in, we'll check in with John Keating.
Torrey is one of the many hitting heroes tonight. He's hitting .500 going back his last 8 games. But I wandered around the clubhouse today and asked a few of the guys what their plans were on the All-Star break. And Torrey said he's just going home. He's got a 64 Impala convertible. He's just going to put the top down and drive around, which gets me to thinking everybody's got a favorite car in their past. Guys, what's yours?
Yeah, well, mine would probably be, Keats, my first car, which was a 78 Firebird.
Mine would probably be my first purchase as well. When I was 17 years old, I bought myself a canary yellow Buick Regal.
Canary yellow.
Canary yellow.
What about you, Keats?
I had an LTD that had a front seat, you know, that would sleep a family.
That's
I
one
mean,
of
it was a sofa.
That's one of the big boy
front
cars.
seat. Oh yeah, it was a long time ago,
And
but it was a dandy.
The good thing about those cars is great gas mileage too.
Yeah, right. Got about 6. I think about 6. We're right in there.
All right, Keats, thanks.
Okay.
Well, Hunter trying to do more damage here, so he's looking forward to kind of hanging out with his car in the All-Star break.
Them 64 Chevys are nice.
Yeah, they are. Meanwhile, Hunter tonight has driven in his share of runs, 3 of them. He's homered in this game. Fouled away. That one ricocheting around the press box area.
That got close to Jim Price. Look out, Jim.
One ball, 2 strikes. Francisco Bueno has come on in the 7th inning and has given up a couple of doubles. So the Tigers really don't care what the score says. They are just continuing to grind through their at-bats. They now have 17 hits. And that one missed low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. Right back up the middle on the ground. Escobar to his left. And Torrey is out. Advanced the runner to third. One gone. Hey, by the way, Saturday it's a full day of Major League action, beginning with the Cardinals taking on the Brewers on Fox Sports 1. Then it's Baseball Night in America on Fox as Andrew McCutchen and the Pirates battle the Reds. Our Major League Baseball doubleheader begins Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and then continues at 7 Eastern on Fox, streaming live as well on Fox Sports Go. It's Castellanos. Late for strike 1. Castellanos a chance to drive in yet another run. Nick has had a couple of RBIs tonight.
They're giving him one if he hits the ball on the ground in the infield. And their infield is playing back.
Swing and a miss.
A couple of 90-mile-per-hour fastballs thrown by Bueno upstairs to Castellanos. And that Nick has swung right through.
Bueno was born in Havana, Cuba. Lives in the Dominican Republic now.
A lot of Cuban-born players in the big leagues these days.
Francisco defected from Cuba in 2004. He has just struck out Castellanos. That's his first of the night. 2 gone.
Matter of fact, quite a few Cubans going to the All-Star game this year. Jose Abreu is going. Yohan Cespedes is going to the All-Star game.
5'11", 205. He's 33 years old.
Yasiel Puig. Didn't Alexei make the All-Star team too? Alexei Ramirez. Another Cuban-born player headed to the All-Star game.
Here's Avila, 1 for 4, doubled in the 5th. And came around to score a run. Fouled away. Bueno first got to the big leagues with Atlanta. He was originally signed by the Braves. That was back in 2008 when he got to the major leagues.
And back in those days, Dayton Moore, the general manager here in Kansas City, was running their minor league department. So he's familiar with Bueno.
But then he went on to play in the Mexican League for a couple of years before he signed with the Royals. The 0-1. 0-2 on Avila. Oh, 2 on Alex. Tigers 15 runs on 17 hits tonight. Here's the 0-2.
Now that angle he just dropped down to Bueno, that's an angle that you see quite frequently if you've ever experienced baseball in Mexico.
Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Tigers get another run, though, on the RBI double by J.D. Martinez. Coming up, the Health Plus 7th inning stretch. Towards Detroit as we march toward the All-Star break. Tigers have a big lead and a big smile for Drew in his last 3 starts. We mentioned that he had some trouble, and well, tonight a little bit different.
Better location tonight for Smiley, especially with the breaking ball and also the changeup. And he's also pitched inside aggressively to the left-handers and also the right-handers, which meant Kansas City Royals hitters really haven't been comfortable all night long against Smiley.
Tigers have a ton of changes now, as we thought would happen. Don Kelly comes into play first base. Andrew Romine will spell Ian Kinsler at second base. Raj Davis is out in left field, which will move J.D. Martinez to right. And Smiley back to work. He throws a strike to Alcides Escobar. 15 runs, 17 Tigers hits, 2 runs, 6 hits for KC. Escobar slaps one back out of play. Be followed by Dyson and then Kane. Always nice to roll up big numbers for several reasons. Obviously for winning the game, but also to get some of your starters half a night off. Smiley's 0-2. That's golfed in the air to shallow left where Rajay Davis is waiting. 1 gone. Here's Gerard Dyson. Single to not get a run back in the second, then stole a base. He is 1 for 2 tonight. The 100th and the first pitch of the night for Smiley is a strike. 101 now for Drew. Little bounce in there. Smiley really in any of his starts this year hasn't gone much beyond 105, 110. In fact, 110 has been his max. Here's the 1-1 pitch.
One area where Drew has been tremendous here tonight, first pitch strikes, 20 of 27. First pitch strikes so far to these Royals batters this evening.
Ground ball back up the middle. It's going to find a hole, and Dyson has his second hit of the night. One out single. Fans, don't forget to follow every Tigers game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB TV game of the week, or game of the day, I should say, and a whole lot more. Download the App Store or visit Tigers.com.
If you're Brad Ausmus, you can stretch Smiley a little bit further here this evening than you normally do. This is obviously his last start before the All-Star break, and then when the Tigers start playing on Friday, next Friday against the Cleveland Indians, it's going to be probably Scherzer and Sanchez and Porcello and Verlander who get the ball before Smiley does. So he's going to get a lengthy rest.
Chad Smith warming up in the Detroit bullpen as we speak,
which is going to allow the Tigers to monitor his innings a little bit more. And he is back in the starting rotation this year after pitching all of last year in the bullpen. So they're going to watch him closely down the stretch.
105 now for Drew. The 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. I haven't talked to anybody about this, but what do you think would be a good target for Smiley this year? 150, 170 innings in that area?
Maybe somewhere in that area.
Here's the 1-1. Porcello, for so many years, well, at least for the last, 3 or 4 years, they've been real careful with his innings, and it looks like Rick is going to get to 200 this year.
And I know this is kind of looking ahead right now, but if the Tigers are fortunate enough to get to the playoffs, and Smiley more than likely is going to have to go back to the bullpen where he excelled last year because of what the other 4 starters have done so far.
2-1 foul back.
That's if everybody stays healthy.
Yeah, assuming health, which obviously we hope will be the case.
Max might just have an opportunity to start the All-Star game on Tuesday. He's going to be well rested.
Two and 2 the count on Lorenzo Cain. Tigers up 15-2 here in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Cain is out of there. 2 gone.
Is it possible that Max could possibly be having a better year this year than he did last year when he won his Cy Young? Look at that bottom note. 35 walks and 146 strikeouts.
I think sometimes you get fooled by the fact that, what was he, 21-3 last year?
Right.
That looked, had won 13 straight at one point. You tend to focus on that, but he has been really good this year as well. Runner going with no throw. So Dyson will take second base. Hosmer is 1 for 3. He had himself a rip there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Drilled toward right center field. That ball is hit well. Jackson looks up, and that ball is gone.
Whoa.
Hosmer has just hit his 6th of the season, and it was a doozy. 2-out, 2-run shot.
This ball right here that Hosmer hit, it's a four-seam fastball that's up, and it's lopsided now because he absolutely killed it.
That is just the second home run given up to a lefty by Drew Smyly. Moss hit the other one of the Oakland A's, and now Hosmer has joined that list. Doesn't give up many against lefties, but he'll depart the scene. Pitching change. We'll be back.
Royals in his last two starts, he was able to move the fastball around. He worked inside and outside. That made some of the swings on the breaking balls uncomfortable for the Kansas City Royals, and barring something tragic here tonight, he's going to win his fifth game.
6 2/3 for Smyly. 8 hits, 2 earned runs. And he'll give way to Chad Smith, who delivers a strike to Brett Hayes.
He's got a good arm, Smith. He's got a fastball and a slider. And the arm slot that he throws from gives him natural run down and into the right-handed batters. And he's got some velocity to go with it. He is topped out at 95 this season.
Wave and a miss.
There's that sink.
Well, Tigers have not been afraid to use Smith. He is facing Hayes here, who is batting just 103. Trying to get that final out here in the 7th inning. And a swing and a miss. He'll do just that. He carved him up on 3 pitches. Inning over. 2-run shot by Hosmer. Smyly, good effort nonetheless tonight. A healthy 15-4 lead. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Tigers offense 15 runs, a season high. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters, well, they've gotten the job done. 7 for 11. And the Royals have hit a couple of home runs. Hosmer a 2-run shot. Billy Butler a solo homer. All Tigers tonight. All smiles tonight. Drew Smiley, good job. It'll be Suarez to lead it off for the Tigers. And Francisco Bueno delivers a strike. A little bit outside. It's been a good night tonight for Suarez. Couple of doubles. 2 RBIs. He has scored a couple of runs. And that is in there for a strike. 1 and 2. Bueno gave up doubles to Cabrera and Martinez in the 7th to get another run in. He struck a couple of guys out, and he's just struck out Suarez. His 3rd punch out of the ball game. 1 out. Bring up Don Kelly. DK tonight, 2 singles, 2 out of 4, plus a run scored. Way inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Grounded foul down the first base line. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mike Moustakas, who's been battling a stomach virus, has entered the game now. He will play 3rd. Valencia moves to 2nd base. And Colon will shift over to shortstop. Alcides Escobar is out of the game. Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball hit to the right side. Charging Valencia. And Kelly is out. 2 up, 2 down, and Tuesday, July 15th, baseball's best gather in Minnesota as the captain Derek Jeter takes the field in his last All-Star game ever in what promises to be an emotional and unforgettable night. Special coverage begins at 4:30 on Fox Sports 1, followed by the 2014 All-Star game at 7:30 on Fox.
Is Mike Trout going to be the new face of Major League Baseball once Derek Jeter shuts it down?
He's right on up there with what he has accomplished at a very young age. An extremely exciting player. Many feel maybe the best overall player in baseball. Jackson the batter. I mean, can you think of anyone else his age that would maybe fall into that category?
No, not off the top of my head.
Now, Harper, had a lot of success early on in his career, but I think, Trout's kind of taken that to a new level. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Adam Jones of the Baltimore Orioles does a lot of things right on the field, off the field with his community work. Plays the game the right way, plays hard. Made the All-Star team again this year as a starter.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. And it's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
But Derek Jeter played nearly 2 decades in New York. And you nearly heard a whisper out of him as to anything going on off the field in New York.
Which is somewhat amazing when you think about it. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Shattered bat, roll towards short. Colon will throw him out. Bueno has a 1-2-3 8th inning. To the bottom of the 8th we go.
On it earlier, Rick Porcello did not win the vote to be the player added to the American League All-Star game. That was announced earlier today. That went to Chris Sale of the Chicago White Sox. But Rick talked about how much he was truly touched by the outpouring of support, and he pledged 21 cents, his uniform number, for every vote that was sent in his direction. $21,000 donated to the boys and girls clubs across southeastern Michigan and all across the United States. So Porcello still could go should an injury pop up between now and the All-Star game, but he came up a little bit short in the vote today. And we'll head into the Tigers clubhouse right after this one. We'll hear from Brad Ausmus. So many, options to talk to, so many heroes in tonight's win in the series opener between the Tigers and the Royals. That's all coming up. It's Mickey York and Craig Monroe in the Call Sam studios right after this game at Kauffman Stadium. Gentlemen.
All right, Chad, thanks very much. It is 15-4 right now, so I would assume it'll be a happy gathering in the clubhouse after this one.
It's a real nice gesture by Rick Porcello, and that's one of the reasons why he is and has been one of my favorite players.
Wayne Hardy is the new Tigers pitcher. He bounces one in, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Very humble young man is Rick Porcello. Did you go to boys clubs much when you were growing up at all?
Nope, I did not. I just kind of hung around the neighborhood with friends. 1-2 is high, but we'd made some visits to boys and girls clubs around the Metro Detroit area, and it just seems like a tremendous opportunity for youngsters.
I still remember some of the men's names that worked at the boys club when I was growing up.
It's line to left field. That's going to be a hit, maybe more. Let's see. He's going to hold up with a single.
That's how much of an influence they had on my life. It was a really safe haven for a lot of kids where I lived to go. They're called boys and girls clubs now, but when I grew up, it was just simply the boys club.
Here is Cologne. Another thing about that Porcello thing is his teammates really rallied around him. I mean, to a man, they all would do as much as they could to get out the word to vote for Rick.
Had some T-shirts made, too.
Yeah. Did some videos.
They've got a really close group down there in the clubhouse. And I think it all started in spring training with all the fun that they had under their new manager, Brad Ausmus.
Here's a line drive caught, and Kelly couldn't quite put the tag on Valencia.
There were some days when we were down in Lakeland, Florida, where we'd be standing outside the clubhouse waiting to go in to talk to Brad, and we would just hear the entire clubhouse. I mean, just laughing up a storm. They had a lot of fun.
Ball was hit hard by Cologne the other way, but straight out.
Yeah, DK right man in right spot.
I think that was one of the things that Brad wanted to do early on to kind of set the tone for the clubhouse this year in spring training. Keep it a little bit looser and make sure guys had fun and bonded.
He said he learned that from Bud Black. Bud Black, of course, the manager of the Padres, and that's where Brad was working before he got this opportunity. But Bud Black got it from Mike Scioscia. So, and Mike Scioscia had an impact on what Bud Black has done, what Joe Madden has done, and now Brad Ausmus in his first year as a manager.
Butler fights that one off back out of play. Well, for Brad Ausmus, he concedes that, yep, I took over a pretty good team, a talented team, but still you have to run the ship and you have to go through some rough patches, which Brad did extremely well this year. Hopeful of a really good second half.
He has done a marvelous job of really just kind of staying out of the way and just kind of allowing his guys to play, not over managing.
Tigers a 4.5 game lead, soon to be 5.5 over the Royals. 2 gone now for Raul Ibanez. Ground out, pop out for Ibanez, which makes him 0 for his last 22. Runner going with no throw. He'll look at a strike.
They brought Ibanez back to give them some leadership in the clubhouse. He's a veteran presence that does very nice with the young players, but they also would like to see him start to swing that bat a little bit better too.
Castellanos did have him played to pull, but now with the runner at second, they got to move him back. Wasn't it Jim Leland that always used to say, I love chemistry and stuff, but you know what? I need guys that are going to drive in runs, too.
That's right, he did.
I mean, it's nice when everybody gets along, but you got to produce.
Yeah, and Brad is totally different than that. He really believes in the clubhouse chemistry. So a couple different philosophies from a couple former players.
0-2 on Raul Ibanez. And he rolls that one foul. In his 18th season, Ibanez over 2,000 major league hits. He was signed on June the 30th by the Royals after he was let go by the Angels. Up high, 1-2. "17 Detroit hits in this game. Making good use of their hits. 15 runs on 17 hits. That one straightens him up again. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Hardy has a really good curveball, but the last 2 that he's attempted to throw to Ibanez, he has simply overthrown them. And therefore, the ball has stayed up and in to the left-handed batting Raul.
Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball foul again.
While we have just a moment here, I'd like to wish my son Andrew happy birthday. Andrew is 25 years young today, and
really,
he's out in Arizona rehabbing his shoulder, hoping to get another opportunity to play some professional baseball. Don't know where that's going to be, but hope you're doing well out there today, son. Happy birthday.
The 2-2 is on the ground to first base. Kelly will handle this one, and that'll take care of the side. So we'll go to the 9th inning. 15-4 Detroit. To be sure, Mick, they are rolling indeed. 15-4 is our score as the Tigers come to the plate here in the 9th inning. And the first pitch is popped in the air to shallow right center field. Base hit for Romine, who gets his first at bat of the night. Add another one to the hit total. Here's Rajai Davis. This will be his first at bat. He took over as a pinch runner for Cabrera earlier in the game. Rajai batting .286. Davis really did well on the last homestand for the Tigers. In fact, Rajai was 11 for 28. He hit .393 on the stand. Knocked in 10 over his last 12 games. Had the big grand slam. Pulls that one to third. Fair ball out of the reach of a diving Moustakas. Romine will go to third base and stop there, and Rajai has a double.
Rajai, when the Tigers were 27-12 to begin the regular season, And Rajai Davis, he was on fire. And he really helped them get off to that terrific start. And lately, as you mentioned, his bat has perked up, but the team is playing much better baseball. Got himself a little off-speed pitch. He got out in front of right past diving Moustakas.
How about the Tigers, man? A lot of extra base hits in this game. They've got 8 doubles now.
It's the most they've had in the game this season.
J.D. Martinez, 2 more hits tonight. And then he sends this one high in the air to right. Kane is under it. Romine is tagging. And that'll be a sac fly and another RBI for J.D., his 3rd of the night. (16-4). These numbers coming into tonight. Since June 20th, the Tigers have had more extra base hits than any other team. Well, they've added to that total here this evening. And by the way, they are 1 hit shy of their season high of the 20 hits they had a couple of nights ago against L.A. Bouncing ball to third, foul. It's been a nice night for Torrey. 3 RBIs. He is homered. Swing and a miss. One ball, 2 strikes. There is Phil Koch warming up in the Detroit bullpen.
It's been a while since Phil has pitched.
Torrey now tired of waiting, steps out. Single double sac fly to start this inning. And the 1-2. Low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hunter's home run back in the 5th inning traveled 428 feet up the stairs up there in left field beyond the bullpen and almost into the water. Had it been hit a little bit to the left, it would have gone right into the fountain out there. Got about a quarter of the way up those steps. Pretty good poke. Pull that one foul back into seats. 21,775 the attendance in this one here tonight in KC. Game 1 in this series. Tigers making somewhat of a statement here tonight.
Yeah, they were ready for a party here tonight going up against the first place Tigers, but the Tigers have kept the crowd quiet all night.
And now again, Hunter getting tired of waiting. Castellanos waiting on deck. Sisley, throw the ball, please. Now Hayes going to come out to have a chat with him.
You ain't going to Gates tonight, are you?
Not now. I had my sights set on it, but apparently it's not going to happen now.
Mr. Bueno not cooperating.
No, he's not. 2-2 on Torrey Hunter. And a chopper back up the middle. Colon charging. He'll throw out Torrey, and to third base goes Rajai Davis. 2 gone now. Well, what happened in the final vote in the National League? It appears that Anthony Rizzo won it over Justin Morneau, which would have been a neat story.
He's got 20 homers, but he's only driven in 49, which means he's not getting a whole lot of opportunities.
Justin Morneau, by the way, was named to the National League Home Run Derby team. Casey McGee's got 53 RBIs with 1 homer this year.
That's good for Justin Morneau. Go back to a place where he spent so many years as an all-star and won an MVP for the Minnesota Twins.
He'll have a chance to. I wonder what it's going to be like in the home run hitting contest. That is not a home run hitter's haven over.
Those balls tend to have a little extra juice in them come home run derby time, though.
Doctored up. Here's the 1-0 pitch.
They tend to be wound a little tighter.
2-0 on Castellanos. Tigers 16 runs, 19 hits. Swing and a miss by Nick. 2-1. Bueno came on in the 7th inning and has been on since. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 on Castellanos, and should he reach Avila, would be next. Tigers hitters getting a lot of at bats tonight. I mean, Avila, who's batting in the 7th spot, has a chance to get 6 ABs. Should Castellanos reach. And he will. That's a 2-out walk. We were talking about that home run derby at the All-Star game this year. Here are the participants. You've got Bautista, Cespedes, Jones, Dozier is in it, and Josh Donaldson. Who you got? You got Stanton over the National League?
That's my winner.
He's in there with Tulowitzki, Puig, Frazier, and Morneau. I'm going to go with. Man, it's hard to go against Stanton, isn't it? But you already picked him. I'll go with Joey Bats. Jose Bautista. Here's the drive to center field. Dyson is on the move, and he'll run it down to end the inning. Tigers got another run, though. So we go to the bottom of the 9th.
None hit any harder, nor did one go any further than the one that Torii Hunter hit. It's our Call Sam call of the game.
There's a drive into deep left field. That ball is hit well, and you can kiss it goodbye. That is way out of here.
That might be further than the one that big bad Billy Butler hit.
Hunter with a deep drive to left. It was climbing the stairs up there. Holy cats, he killed that thing. One of several big hits in this ballgame. Torii Hunter homers early in this game. All Tigers tonight as Phil Koch will get some work now here in the ninth inning.
31st game now that Phil has been in, and the ERA is now under 5 since the 1st of June. That's a pretty good stretch there. The ERA at 2.63 for Phil Koch.
It'll be Mike Moustakas, the first man to face him. He did not start this game. Moustakas came on as a defensive replacement. This will be his first at bat. And he looks at ball one high from Koch.
Phil Koch going to get a chance to face a couple of left-handers here in Moustakas and Dyson. And that was the plan of Brett Ausmus when he decided to bring Phil Koch in here to pitch the ninth inning. Get him some work against lefties.
1-0 is high. 2 balls, no strikes on Moustakas. So Koch follows Hardy, who followed Smith. Drew Smiley pitching into the 7th inning of this game. Also almost got through 7, but then gave up a home run to Hosmer, and that was his last batter. Now Moustakas waits on the 2-0. Fouled it back out of play. 2-1 on Moustakas. It seemed Moustakas had flu-like symptoms throughout the day yesterday. Did not play. Here's the 2-1. Ball high. 3 balls, 1 strike. There's Dyson waiting on deck. Tigers trying to get the final 3 outs here. Notch this one in the win column. Win their 51st of the year. Swing and a miss. 3-2 now on Moustakas. Ten homers this year for Moustakas. Fouled straight back. Royals have a couple of guys that have hit 10 or more. Moustakas and Perez. Salvador Perez leads with 11 homers this year for the Royals. So kind of gives you an indication that it's not a team that has a whole lot of power.
They're looking to add a bat at the trade deadline if they stay in the race.
And the 3-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Phil Koch fell behind but comes back to strike out Moustakas. Well, here's the upcoming matchup presented by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning. Tomorrow we've got game 2 in this 4-game series on tap here in KC, and it's Anibal Sanchez and Danny Duffy.
And Duffy not getting a whole lot of run support. You can see that he has won 5 and lost 8, but has an outstanding earned run average. He also has a power arm for a left-hander. Fastball will get all the way up to 97. Anibal Sanchez, well, you know all about him if you watch Tigers baseball.
Gerard Dyson, 2 singles tonight and a run scored plus an RBI. And Koch throws strike 1.
Dyson got 2 hits against Drew Smiley, and Smiley usually doesn't give up a lot of hits to lefties.
Yeah, he gave up the homer and the single to Hosmer. 2 hits to Dyson. Little chopper back toward the mound. Koch makes the play and fires one in the dirt, but what a scoop down there by Kelly.
Phil Koch had more time to make a better throw to Don Kelly, but you can't blame him for rushing, not with Dyson running down that line. We had Dyson at our park in that series where they were there. He was getting down the line from the left side in about 3.4 seconds, which is unheard of.
So Koch needs one more out here in the 9th inning. It'll be Lorenzo Cain. A big inning for the Tigers tonight was the 8-run 5th. Cain hitless tonight, 0 for 4. And he looks at strike one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Checked it. Strike 2 called. Cain didn't like it. And now the Royals down to the final strike. Koch is ready with the 0-2. Here it is. Bouncing ball to third should do it. Gobbled up there by Castellanos. Throw is in time, and the Tigers put the finishing touches on an impressive win tonight. They beat the Royals 16-4. They walk into KC and take game 1 in this series in convincing fashion. We'll be back to Kauffman Stadium.